Good evening, everyone. And today we have a very interesting topic as to how LGBT marriages, they are becoming quite popular all across the world, and especially, it is be a lot of news is coming in India with regards to accepting LGBT couples and everything, as well as talks on how whether marriages should be legalized or not, right, in India. So on that particular topic, we have a lot of stuff to talk about, and we have once again Shreyasta with us. So welcome,
Hi.
Shreyasta.
Hi, Chaitanya.
Yeah. So I will leave the this thing discussion open to you, and you can take it forward as to how I mean, why is LGBT getting a lot of attention at this point of time? Because it was, I mean, always we had this section of people long time back, but why is it being giving importance fully now, right?
I feel like in the past couple of, if you see this 2 to 3 years, more movies also on this topic, more awakening or more protests or more fight for equality is coming in this way. And I don't know. Sometimes I feel it's kind of trying to break the constitution, or maybe our what our Hindutva stands for. We don't in Hinduism. Of course, we respect them, but let's say the marriage law and everything is a little bit way as a law. It's a bit way more complicated than what it is, and I think first recognition of the LGBTQ community came in 2018, right? Since that law was passed for people being allowed to be LGBTQ, because unfortunately in India, the consequences are really bad for the community. So if you go to Europe or America and all, they have a much better life. They have more equality, and
Mm-hmm.
I meet people from such community, they are living in harmony actually. And versus in India, there is always, I feel like there is they are scared. The community doesn't know a lot of things. They are typecasted into only marriages, and a lot of injustice has happened to them if I'm following the stories of everyone. So I feel, but when it comes to marriage, okay, now since people are living together already, sharing lives, and there are many couples like that out there, both lesbian couples, both gay couples, queer couples. So, or I feel why it has become a big deal is because not only of the marriage law, the fact the I think it's not the marriage part. Marriage is just a ceremony for them because they are already living. The fact that they joint bank account, maybe the inheritance part, or maybe taking life decisions, everything coming back to the family. Maybe the family is already cut off from, because now the couple is living together, and these are some fundamental rights. I feel like if now the Supreme Court has ruled against it, okay, but I feel okay, marriage is maybe a long way to go, but these certain three proper rights when it comes to medical, joint bank account, and even inheritance, I believe they should be allowed. I mean, not allowed. I've thought that they already have it. Even I kind of researched over it and came to know that all these things were not allowed, and it's a big deal. Like even when we are writing insurance, so who's going to take a decision over us when, let's say, some accident happened, or you are in a vegetative state, who is going to take that decision? Your family members already hate you. Right, and you're already like people are 6 to 10 years they are maybe living in hiding. uh, People don't know that they are like men, or they are living in a lot of fear. So that, I think, that is why main reason is the highlight of this, that they're like, okay, marriage is a sacred constitution, what the Hindu parties are saying. Marriage is a big deal, okay, but I feel like these other 3 to 4 things, the fundamental things, that without the marriage ceremony or certificate can be resolved, according to me. So there has to be maybe special laws of it, because taking this movement until Supreme Court again is not good for anyone at this point in time. There will be more communal clashes and more question on the sacred institute of marriage, actually, because it's going to be a question mark for the heterosexual couples also. So let's not go and create unnecessary useless debates. The fact of the matter is taking decision when an accident comes. Second is joint bank account. It shouldn't be a big deal. If they want to choose a partner, they should be allowed to do that, and in any form they should be not prosecuted for writing that they are not male or female, and they belong to the spectrum of LGBTQ. I think that's where everyone can be a bit open minded. So yeah, but I am willing to hear what others have to say. What is their viewpoint?
Yeah, I mean, do you think that certain sort of political outfits, maybe deep state, are hijacking this movement for other purposes?
Well, already this when I follow the news in channels in Germany, that's Deutsche Welle and all, they actually showed it in a very neutral light. I would say they did not exaggerate like the other cases, but yes, the foreign media is definitely having a big eyes on it, showing that still it's 2023, nothing has been done, and blah blah blah. Yeah, because our court system, if you can see, where is the justice for Sushant also, right? So it's not like it's a LGBTQ are spared from it. Oh, we are LGBT. That's why it's happening. No, it's happening because our law systems are have been slow, and law stuff has, as we know, is no. We don't even know. We being educated ourselves, I am coming to know new things every day because you hardly see people coming out. I think after the advent of social media, more lawyers are posting. I think I see Ishkaran posting. So many things you learn from these people which you did not know, and you did not know that this rules are set from 1800s. So it all goes back to your if it is 1800 rules, so who prosecuted at that time? Right? They were not even accepting. I think the spiritual ladies, they were calling them witches, or they were burning them at that point in time, or maybe they had, because everyone has a bit of spiritual and supernatural power. These people were never ready willing to believe. We were believing in our sadhus and santas, we were believing in all these things. So I think the Western media is always trying to circle us back, but actually we have to show them the mirror. That's it. Because these rules, the problem is going back to the 18th century. And what happened in the 18th century? The Britishers came, they enforce their laws on it. So how can you say that Indians are like this? No, it's your bloody law. I think BBC should take note, not forget that. So I feel it's definitely deep state again, and they just, yeah, wokeism, like you said. Another,
Yes.
yeah, they just
So,
want to fuel it, yeah, fuel
yeah, I mean,
the fire, yeah.
yeah, I mean, like, there's one, we see a particular way in which maybe certain film industry and film content they are trying to use and promote LGBT content at this
Yes,
point of time, right? So that is what I don't understand. What is
yes.
the motive?
If you, even if you say here TikTok is still allowed where I'm residing, and I look at the content, I mean, it's unbearable. Like I have to use it for my, for social media marketing for my job actually. And the moment I come to upload, it's already, there is already like a slot running, and it's mostly this content that you just mentioned. Another thing, I think if Meena ma'am, I just spoke to her, she brought in a very, very crucial point. So the motherhood and the fatherhood relationship will now be skewed because it takes time. So there is a gender aspect, and then there is a sexuality aspect, which is really not, these topics are not discussed in India even now. It takes a long time to understand, and it takes some time for people to explore themselves, get to know themselves. So another thing, young people are very, very impressionable, and they will have a wrong mindset. So even if they're maybe born straight, maybe if they're raised in, like, I'm just putting it out there, they will not understand the gender roles of a father being there and a mother being there. If they have same sex partners, then they have to be very, very sensitive about what are the roles. Okay, what a normal mother does and this does. So that kind of education has to be there, but I don't think in India that anyone will enforce it. What will happen to these kids who are going to be raised in such families. Of course, I'm not talking about the educated one again. uh, See, a lot of our section, majority of the section is, I'm not saying uneducated, but they're in the dark about these topics, and these topics, they need more clarifications from the actual scientists and the experts themselves. So, and it will cause, in the mind development, let's say if the child is straight, they maybe they start, nature versus nurture. You are nurtured in that way, so you maybe will take up that spectrum even if you are not, and then entire you is lost in that process. Maybe it's later part of your life you will search yourself again. It creates a lot of chaos in the family life as well, and in the society. Like, I think being allowed to be married and live together is fine, but do heterosexual couples make a big deal about it? Right? I don't think so. I Do you think heterosexual couples are also very, very happy? Absolutely not. One thing I will tell from the mental health aspect and the divorce rate, both same sex and heterosexual couples, or everybody divorces. So let's just get it out of the equation that they will be more happier. No, no one is going to be more happier in this case, whether if that is on people's mind. Oh, they'll be more happy, that's why they should get married, law and all should be there. I feel law and all should be there in terms of the last 3 points discussed, but marriage in general in our society will take some long time as acceptance, and it will break our Hinduism thing. So these are like the major cons of this thing. So I don't know what's how it's
But
gonna turn out. Yeah.
how is it like, since you stay in Germany? How has the society in Germany accepted LGBT community in general?
They had a lot of resistance, lots and lots of resistance earlier, let's say just after the Second World War. So even now, people do tease and this and that, and like, oh, what is it to be a man and what is it to be a feminine? That debate is happening, I believe, in every society. But moreover, here they have, because marriage is allowed, and they don't show off. Actually, Jaydev, they're not. Of course, they have certain parades, certain days. Only in those days these things happen. But I have, like, I know people in actually very, very good positions. They are so well mannered and they are so presentable. They are so much in control of themselves. They don't need to prove it again and again. And here in India, I feel it's like a cry for help. Look at me, look at you, because here the German law looks at you from the same eyes. They make the social constructs for you to coexist in this society. No one will come, and maybe some people, some bosses, some societies might not allow you, even here, yes, even in Europe. Maybe they will ban you from the churches and stuff like that, but it doesn't mean that they are coming and prosecuting you, or it's a threat to their life. And thank god that the society is developed that much. But here everyone, they kind of integrate and assimilate in the society. And when you look at these couples, the roles of mom and dad is very well defined in them. So, and they have the proper conversation with their child. So until this psychological development is not there in the society, it's actually, you cannot just roll the dice like that. No, I feel it has to be. And our country is very, very big. It's very hard to control and monitor these things, or maybe have places, like here there is a family welfare system. So in case you're having trouble in the marriage, whether you're a heterosexual couple or homosexual couple, something happened, some accident happened, there is a center, and they provide psychologists, lawyers, social. They have actually, it is called social arbeit, and they're paid very well. These people are paid very well. They study also, they do research also. So first, for example, we have Tata Institute of Social Sciences. I know people from there. Very hardly two or three people are very good enough. They will come back with you. Most of these graduates, they are happily married, and I don't know what they're doing. There is no institute for these guys. First, build the institute. First, build the legal and mental mind frame. So because there are thousands of loopholes in this, and then later maybe the society can slowly assimilate into it. But yeah, you cannot have one law for such a crore population, 1.42 crore population. No, it's violation of the other rights then. So yeah, that's the eternal debate.
Yeah, so Sunita has a question. A few decades back, globalization, this topic was hardly talked and known to people. Can I know the reason?
There was not much media outreach. Okay, number one. Number two, I feel that in the past, before globalization or after the Green Revolution, even the nutrients and whatever we are taking, it is changing our hormones. Okay, so the hormonal changes are also there, which makes you think and act like a man more or a woman more. Yes. So sometimes it is your biology also kind of mimicking with you. So when you stop taking these things, it changes. The same if you follow these people's actual clinical studies and their thoughts and processes without taking their names, you will see the changes. Some people then transition because they're highly confused in their minds, then they detransition. That also happens. So you can find all these things on YouTube. And why this is, I feel, coming out more and more is because you will see maybe famous celebrities changing their genders. And now I look at the advertisement, like here in the advertisements they are there. And most of the society here is also conservative. They don't even look at it. They feel like, oh god, what did we just see? Practice it in your home, practice it in your community. Do you see normal heterosexual people, like uh, uh, showing, okay, showing affection is different and love, but this is like way too out there, I feel. And after globalization, it kind of, I think now that people slowly know they can earn their own income. Because what happened previously, things were, your upward social mobility was tied to who you know versus how talented you are. That's why we have so much makhan bazi or teacher's favorite. I mean, that is still good. You get some leeway if you are the teacher's favorite. And of course, it's still favoritism still exists in every society because that is human nature. It has nothing to do with global. What globalization did was it started giving them more freedom, and their voices were not heard for a long time. And they started making their own path, they started making their own money. And once you can trump the money game and you can get out of the financial loop, you're not a slave anymore. And now they are in a safe environment. I think actually it's not now. I have been listening to these conversations for more than 10 years. So that's why I think they're coming out, and they're coming out in the form of products, maybe especially makeup, because it's a great way to express yourself. Maybe art, dance, choreography, because they're really, very good at it. And even they're very intelligent, they're very good scientists, they're very good politicians. So I feel like, and yes, the when I interact with the young people, be it from India or Europe, they are very, very scared to be themselves, and it psychologically affects them very badly. So, and you have to show them examples that it is possible to still make it in life, because these people are highly suicidal also. So from that point, I wouldn't want anyone to commit suicide because they have a certain gender orientation. And I just want them to know you are actually better than normal. Scientifically they are better, really. So it's a fact that it's a hard pill to swallow, but it is what it is. And they perform much better even in the sports domain, if you see. Yeah, everywhere actually they are doing good. They do go in the top of the ladder. Maybe they form their own league. And for them, I feel it's like it's a way of the resistance just exploding at this point in time. That's what we are seeing, and it is everywhere via social media, via deep state funding this. So deep state is going to fund anything and everything, be it terrorism, be it LGBTQ, men's right, women's right. I mean, like, they are, deep state is just there to harass and pick up on your emotional insecurities. So that's how I see deep state. So they'll go to any level and anyone. So first it is the Bollywood, which is the most insecure industry, and then now it is these people. So you see, they're targeting the most insecure and vulnerable groups. Then they will target our, let's say, maybe the Dalit group or something. Next, you will see this wave coming after, as I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, so what I've been noticing is that even films in the Mallu films in Kerala also, they have now some sort of LGBT content, right? Even in a Mohanlal film, I saw this actress having a relationship with another actress in the film, so which is quite progressive or very uh, too progressive for a Kerala film. So, but the question is, I mean, why is it taking place now? It could have taken place a long time back. They could have,
Exactly.
yeah.
This is time, Jaydev. This is all time. They know that it's gonna come out, so they know, maybe they know that this is what the topic is, and this is the tone right now. It first it was Corona, now it is this. We want to have a conversation around this only. So I feel maybe it's a planned tactic from my eyes. Yeah.
So, from what I understand is in Europe and US, people have at least 70 to 80% accepted LGBT relationships.
Yeah, long back, yes. It's not even
So,
a thing here. It's just very normal, like day to
so,
day.
so they
Yeah.
go on living their normal lives just like any heterosexual couple.
Yes, yes, yes. And I don't see them showing off, to be honest. They are happy in
Um,
their own family unit, or I
they
don't even see them making a lot of posts. They're very just like normal
So,
humans. Yeah.
you mean to say they are not very showy? They don't post stuff on Instagram. Nothing. They're very low profile. Is that what I understand?
Yeah, yeah, very conservative, they're very happy, as in they don't feel the need also to do this, because their government has been very open about this from really, really long, couple of decades ago. So, and they openly kind of say it, we are like this. If it is a problem with you, then don't have interaction with us and blah blah blah. Like it's very clear from the beginning. There is no kind of blindsiding anyone. So
So, from what I understand, is there's no barriers to them. They can do anything which a normal heterosexual couple, they are allowed to do in at least the US and Europe as as of now.
as of now, yes. Yeah.
They
Though
can
in
do.
the US, there are some states that have banned it. Not all the states
Yes.
are very acceptable. But in Europe, it is a little bit better. Yeah.
Okay, they can adopt a child, and there's no
Yes.
limitation for that.
Yeah. See, here it's all about money. You have money to afford it and get through it. And so they don't have, they don't have the barrier to practice any profession. Okay, maybe some bosses might be against you, the old school types, or but apart from that, I see mostly becoming people becoming very good doctors, very good therapists, artists, engineers. Yeah, they're in all professions.
So, in terms of like a professional, atmosphere, at least in Europe, since you're in Europe, are people very open about their sexual orientation, or do
Yeah,
they
if
sort of don't
asked,
speak about? Yeah.
no, no. If asked, they tell you. If not asked, they don't bother. I mean, it's only if you ask. There's no one who just comes out and just starts a conversation around sexuality and gender. No, it's very professional. It's very normal day to day. How was your day? What did you have? Like that. And if someone is asking, only then.
Yeah, there's a
Otherwise, nobody brings it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a comment from Dream Reality. I'm lesbian and very happy to know that people are getting to discuss, but somewhere Shreyasta is trying to present the normal mind. Okay, well, please, the orientation than the intelligence.
I didn't get understand actually. Can you?
Yeah, yeah. Well, even I didn't get it. So yeah. So what? So from what I understand is in India, always we have been, sort of very traditional, and we have always sort of, LGBT relationships are like we haven't, we shy away from talking about that, I guess.
I think
uh,
India has a long way to go
and
because
we still have a long way to accept the community in terms of their marriages, I guess.
first, I
It,
feel believe first
mm,
marriage is a long shot. I feel their safety.
yeah, the
For
safety.
me, for me, it's really their safety and their mental health. That comes first because they are prosecuted by everybody, even the family members. In India, it's really abnormal to have this orientation, and they really have to hide. And I feel actually very bad that in India it is still like that, and that's where you see the law and
So
this.
most of them are ostracized from the society as of now in India. Maybe in, I guess, in certain metro cities in India, there's a certain level of acceptance for these
It's hard,
relationships.
Dev. Yeah, because I don't have the Indian statistics in my hand. I know that they don't even get to stay in certain societies. I think that is really harsh when it's already so hard with work-life balance, and there is no work-life balance in India. Then you have it's just like an additional stress. I would like to know if you do you think LGBT is also mental disorder? It's not a mental disorder, no. No, I feel they are being more stressed. I feel unnecessarily. It's a
Okay,
orientation. It's something you're born. It's your genetics. You can't change it. Yeah.
okay, okay. And what do you? Okay, let me see what are comments. So all normal just said orientation is, guys. Please speak formal. Okay, okay. So
It
going.
speaks. This is formal.
This is formal.
So I think see what I mean as a scientist. We all have both the hormones, both testosterone and both estrogen. Both men and women both have this. When there is a certain imbalance in this, in your hormones, your emotions and your you how you hormonally feel changes. Okay, so when those hormones are unfortunately missing, and it can be maybe you have a thyroid issue that is hereditary, or maybe the food you're eating from a certain region, the water, air is not matching up. Maybe when you change it, or maybe you start having different kind of supplements, things do change. So does your mood change, and so does that's what I mean by being a normal heterosexual, because it uh, a lot of time you will also be lost in between. If you're starting new gym and you're taking some supplements and maybe you're trying to lose weight, sometimes it can go haywire. A lot of times, a lot of women actually, as what I have read, they come to know very very late in their lives, because maybe they were coming from a very conservative society, and they never got to explore their sexuality. They were married early, this and that, and later they find out I am not attracted to male as it was conditioned to me. This also happens. So that is dream reality is asking what is normal sexuality, what
Mm,
is hormone, is very very at a very scientific level, and I don't want to get into the science of it. Just having a very normal overview of it, because it's actually about the law and actually about the rights and not much about the science of it. And nowadays what I feel is where you can actually what science offers is, if someone even had let's say 100% male person, but they have this kind of maybe fantasy what it would feel like to be a woman, and maybe it's easier to be a woman and blah blah blah, there are such people as well. So they can actually alter themselves and do a gender reassignment as it's called, and the other way around as well, it happens. So maybe that does fall under some it's not a mental disorder, it's actually how you are attached to that particular fantasy and how badly you want that lifestyle. I think it's a lifestyle. Now it has become a lifestyle choice. So
yeah.
that's why
So
I spoke the heterosexual, and there are apparent it's a spectrum even amongst them. So you could still have guy best friends and or girl best friends even though you are straight. It's just a preference. So That's why I use certain terms like that. The background of this is that, but it doesn't mean that everyone will go and change. It's just I feel more comfortable talking to women because I am a woman. Doesn't make me lesbian, right? So it's just like that. That's how I mean it.
So what I think is that in India, at least the parents and small kids should be educated as to what exactly LGBT is in their schools from early on, right? What are the what exactly it is? There should be some sort of classes so that they are aware of what it is.
I mean, it happens usually when people hit or teenagers hit their puberty. I think when they're learning about, they must be in their seventh class, eighth class, ninth class, because it's hard on both the people. So maybe that time if it is introduced, and I think it's not been introduced and open because our society is like that. Everything is very unfortunately hidden, or maybe or it really depends. Like my science teachers were a little bit open about these topics, but I was not ready to learn all these things. I used to skip these classes. But now that I'm grown up and I'm living in a very open society, here people talk about it. I also read many papers on this to really understand what it is. And then when I was also experimenting on mental health, I came to know more about the spectrum and things like that. So it's like from life experience also you learn. There's only so much books can teach you.
Yeah, so okay, let me see some comments. It's not a DSM-5 diagnosis, but gender
And then this
dysphoria
for you.
is not the sexual orientation. Did you get what she's saying here?
Mhm. So,
Yeah.
what I'll tell you what this social media is doing, it is causing gender dysphoria.
Okay.
So, a lot of
What is gender dysphoria for people who don't know?
gender dysphoria is basically you, even though maybe you are maybe straight, you think you belong to the spectrum because like it's like you're in a group. If everyone is saying I'm feeling cold, I'm feeling cold, maybe
It's a
after a certain
confusion.
time it's a confusion.
Yeah.
It's unnecessary confusion.
Okay. So yeah, of course, it's not gender dysphoria. Yeah. Let's take some comments. We are not Americans and Europeans, we are Indians, okay? If you see the countries are deteriorating regarding the culture, hence no marriages should be allowed. This is another school of thought from Rashmi that
Rashmi.
she's of the opinion that these marriages should not be allowed in India. Okay. So there's different contrasting opinions in India that same gender sex marriages should not be legalized or whatever. While there is another group of people who think it should be legalized and it should be normalized in India.
Hmm.
So it will be a very interesting decision as to what the courts decide in India at the in the future regarding the same sex and LGBT all marriages right in the future. So, but the thing is, I mean, like now it is coming into focus. Like many people say, it was not discussed at all or given any importance, at least in the before 2000s, right? Or
Yeah.
before the technology came up, and but now these things are coming up. So there is also certain people who think that certain people are trying to hijack this what do you say, the marriage concept, and they think that
The
they
role of the mother and father, it's
yeah
very
will be
sacred,
replaced,
right?
will be
The
replaced.
role of family is very sacred for us. And
Yes,
of course, I
yes,
feel it's like trying to break it. Where
yeah.
I feel like, because the Marriage Act law is very, very powerful. So I feel they should recognize the partners living together, and they should definitely give them the rights to take decision in surgery or blah 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 or joint account, all that. But I think marriage is also, from my point of view, I am also very Hindu aligning. So I wouldn't just say, oh, marriage should be allowed. No, I feel the certain important rights, they can have different acts on it, as we have acts for everything. even there is a Hindu Marriage Act law, right, that is governing everything. So they can have separate acts, but it shouldn't be like a one solution fits all, because it's not. That is not our society. Our society is Sanatan society. So that society should not be at jeopardy. But yes, at the same time, that society should respect everyone, and they should definitely have the provision of separate laws. That's what I think. So for me, if I'm not sitting in that court, or sometimes you feel like, yeah, that is a powerful place to be in. And this way we can protect our Hindutva, our marriage laws, our thinking of who is a father and mother in the society, so that this gender dysphoria stuff is not coming. Uh, and yeah, definitely, like Divided States has pointed out, it is a depopulation agenda. It is a depopulation agenda because they want everyone to think that heterosexual marriages cannot happen. They want more divorces in the society as well, and
Yeah, there is one point which I
definitely
know,
it's tied up.
known, sorry, which point I noted is that content in the film industry and serials are, more pointed towards, like one night stands,
Oh yeah.
like loose morals. So they are trying to break the normal marriages while they are promoting these sort of marriages. Why are they trying to promote the normal? Why are they trying to destroy the sanctity of a normal marriage, right? Of a normal heterosexual marriage, right?
Yes. Yeah, that should never be, because I feel like in the agenda of the Western people, they focus on all this a lot. They focus on they focus on all these crazy ideas, which maybe a very small population of the society is practicing. Yes, Dr. Ganesh Bogre said this is a mental disease of Western people, which is glorified because of their entire life is focused on money and sex, which they call an open society. It is dangerous disease and a virus that, yeah. At this point, I will agree that, yeah, you cannot, like I just said, you cannot allow it in India. Have separate acts for them. So you be in your own sphere, we are in our own sphere, and then there is no uh, interlaps or unnecessary breakdown of sanctity of Hindu marriage, and even like the gender roles of a mother and father. We understand it much better than anything. Yeah.
I guess there should be a separate act for maybe LGBT. That is, I guess, probably that might happen. I guess.
Yeah, it's
Um,
the best. I believe it's the best course of action, because I believe in India. I also believe it shouldn't be allowed, and I don't think it will be allowed from how I have followed this act or this whole movement. But I do believe that there are many other fundamental things, uh, like mentioned. So those things should be allowed, definitely, but not marriage. Yeah.
yeah, even people were talking about RRR. It's a two-boy friendship. That's a friendship. If
It's
you've seen the,
friendship. It's they
yeah,
call, yeah.
agree with
I mean,
Dr.
you don't
Ganesh.
need a movie for that. I mean, I have just seen good two guys being friends, good two girls being friends, and there is no hint of this. Like, that is what, this is what is maybe not gender dysphoria, but this is like unnecessarily bringing an angle, unnecessarily trying to ignite a fire where
Yes.
it's not even necessary to begin with. This is what it does. Such shitty conversations in normal people's life, it affects in this way.
Okay, Nirmala says Bollywood is promoting loose morals and same-sex marriages, but destroying the traditional marriage and values. Yes, no doubt, Nirmala. They tried this in agriculture, animals, and created bad effects. And now world is moving to the organic world. Yes.
Yes,
So
because, yeah, I think I'll just add a small note, because I think, what the Western society or industrialization did. They forced a lot of these chemicals or hormones into our cows and our feeding livestock
Yes.
in general. Then you ingest, like here people eat really meat, they don't understand vegetarian food exists, or even our vegetables if given these hormones, we are taking the same thing. So these, when your hormones are changing, then your biological identity and what the hormones is playing, so it's actually the play of hormones. You see, hormones have hijacked over your mind and brain and everything. And to convince this person, it's gonna take a complete detox of that body. I think Dr. Ganesh can speak much better on this. He will maybe agree with me as well. Unless and until they don't have a detox or they are not back into organic food, their hormones won't be balanced. When your hormones are not balanced, how will you really be in harmony with yourself? And then when you're not in harmony with yourself, you're always like this, I'm a man today, I'm a woman today. Come on, you have enough stress in your life, you don't need this new uh, kind of distress, you just don't need it. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of comments coming in. Rashmi says, please don't bring Western culture in our society. These West people want to ruin our culture, says Rashmi. And Divided Street says, everyone has the right to live. Of course, the marriage is all about getting to the legal rights. And I strongly believe India should proceed and provide the legal rights as same for all, says Dream Reality.
Mm.
Yeah, so might be food is also driving people to go, I'm homosexual. That is something.
That is
Uh,
something for another debate. I feel
okay.
rights should be there, acts should be there, but
Yeah.
it doesn't really have to be in the form of a marriage act. It can
Oh,
be in the form of a partner act. I feel partner act is a much better word for the community, and we should leave it at that, because then it comes to our culture and the identity of our culture and our cultural norms. Partner act
ma-
gives it a different name. Yeah.
yeah. So there's still people saying marriages between a man and a woman. If people of same sex want to live together, that's their will. But how is it comparable to marriage between a man and woman? They can have their own separate laws. So yeah, that's what you are saying, that we need different acts, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Basically, Western people are mentally disturbed due to money and sex, and hence they're going in this direction. They come out with women. Yes, Ganesh, the Western society is completely degenerated at this point of time. With many people
Absolutely,
on
Srishant.
the, like, addicted to drugs in certain streets of America. The kind of strange drugs they're into, and
But
we have a
Jadip,
lot.
this is a very small spectrum. It's not everybody. Normal day-to-day people are really not like this. And what happens is that when we see a certain clip, see, no one will film. See, what is media? It's highlighting a certain issue, and we don't know so the scientist will go and actually measure the social scientists in this case, or the social psychologists who specialize in these things. So they will actually go and do the actual survey and actual measurement. But I can tell you, in general, where I have been living in the Western society for so long, they don't do all these things really. Not in the public and all. I think it's just for the media, and maybe it's a very, I don't know how, I cannot even comment if it's a small segment or a big segment or what they're doing. I have no interest also to know. It's not my domain of work. But it gives everybody the idea in India who've never come out. So you really need to come out, and then you will expand your mind, because it's very easy to be a keyboard warrior. Come and live in, well, or if you are in a society that is dominated by these people, you have to live in harmony even though you're against it, right? So yeah, you cannot, then you will be very careful of your words, right? It's very normal. You cannot just be a one woman person army or one man army and say all these things. So but yeah, for our culture it's not going to work out, it's very clear. For our culture, we are also saying that we need to coexist, we need to accept LGBTQ as proper people and humans, and give them the acts. That's it. Not in the form of marriage acts, but in the form of legal rights, as no, Dream Reality was saying, in form of legal rights. And the legal rights are not necessarily marriage acts, they can be partner acts. Prove that you're a partner, prove that you're together. And even marriages have to prove themselves these days. So it's all about protecting ourselves. And yeah, I mean, trouble is there in every society, everywhere, be it Western or modern. And yeah, these debates are unending.
Yeah, because I mean, it is a very materialistic society right now. Because even most of the relationships are based on what I can get from this person, right? How I can make money, or how I can, benefit from this person. Unfortunately, and even marriages are also, we have seen, people marry into money most of the time. Unfortunately, compared to many years back, when people used to marry not looking at the financial situation of any of the spouse or the bride or anyone. But now it's all about how much salary he is earning, and how much what is the position he has in this company, and based on that, the marriage is fixed in India, at least for most of the time. But now, there are a lot of people, choosing to stay single as well for life, right? Because they are not able to support, family or anyone else, and because of the insecurity of jobs now, right? you
Very
can be
high.
you can be
Yeah,
hired today and you can be fired tomorrow,
tomorrow.
and
That
because
is
of that,
hmm.
people are choosing to stay single as well for life.
Yeah,
So that,
because yeah,
yeah,
you know, Jaydev, unfortunately, or it's I can see it in my life and many people of my age. Uh, they're like, we just don't know when we will be fired. We are just like not
yeah,
committing, or we are so scared of whatever has happened in the past 3 years. This is the new reality, and it has nothing to do with being in the. It's just the situation of the economics is so bloody fragile at the moment. Uh, I know Modi Sarkar is saying make in India, blah 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 blah. We long way to go, make in India to become beneficial, because first people need to know how to coexist, how to understand business communication, which is most of my job. Though I'm a techie, mostly I'm hired, Jaydev, because I can speak the different cultures with empathy, which most of the people lack. They just take it personally. इसने ऐसे business किया. You really, the how the business deals break is because of some stupidity. And I'll also tell you, if there are some conservative people and they come to know that they are from the spectrum, they sometimes don't accept, and it's the other way around also, which I feel is the wrong thing to do, really, ethics wise. But you cannot help it, people are biased. And
yeah,
also people favor the people they like. It's a fact, you cannot escape it, unfortunately. And safety comes first, and I think money provides a certain amount, because we are, unfortunately, India is not a social security country. So what I mean by that, for example, if you're in Europe, most of the Europeans provide country provides social security, which means that you will not have a very high salary. Okay, even if you have a high salary, you are taxed very highly for two three reasons. One is something that is stored for, here the age of retirement is 67. People do live long and they live healthy lives. Secondly, they don't take a lot of stress, they live in the present. They're not very superstitious. They do follow certain spirituality, but not very superstitious. Secondly, there is a certain amount of your salary which is going towards, for example, if you lose your job, so that's, let's say, 13 to 14% is saved for that. And when you lose your job, there is an agency. You go and register in this agency, and that agency will make sure you get that money that has been cut from so many years of your salary. But it only comes into fruition when you have worked for, let's say, 4 to 5 years. Only then, and you cannot be jobless forever, maybe a couple of months. And then there is another part that goes to your medical insurance. We don't have this system in our society. So that is also one of the major reasons our society is breaking. So if we can get this social security, be it any gender, be it any religion, I feel number one thing, the conversions will also come down. You see, I feel that the lack of a social security blanket is the cause of all these things, that they go to another religion, they go to another gender, then it becomes a fact of convenience. They go to another caste. I feel, and then this is a unnecessarily created problem, and that's what we are seeing. The past all conversations have been regarding this conversions influencing the mind. Media, Bollywood is the biggest, because Bollywood is in people's DNA. I feel they really cannot separate the self. So the people in the West, they talk about self actualization, which our gurus have also spoke about. But in India, unfortunately, majority of the population do. Even I was a Bollywood fan. Let's be honest. I'm being honest. Now I have like that living abroad and realizing there is life beyond Bollywood, and but I still get happy like if I see a film. Now that I know the reality, I just avoid them. That's a different thing. But yeah, it is what it is. It is the reality of our lives, and yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, we just running short of time,
Yes.
Shreyasta. So I mean, like, let's see how the Supreme Court, what decision it makes with regards to LGBT rights. And it's quite we have two different school of thoughts. Like the old people, certain people believe that LGBT marriages should not be legalized, while others believe it should be legalized in India. So we'll have to let's wait and see, what happens with the decision. And you, any final thoughts on this topic before we wind up?
I don't know. I think Dr. Ganesh wanted to say something. Maybe he should be allowed. And I just want to address one question of Suhail Khan. He's saying, LGBTQ, we already submitted. I'm already married with my girl. We are looking for partners legally. If something happened to her, I should be signing authority, or I die, the property should goes to my wife. All we are asking is the spouse rights. Like, yeah. Yeah, so well, that's what I'm saying. For example, today, today you decide you want to be something else. Let's say it's a lifestyle choice now. I feel there should be partner rights, and I think that will solve a lot of issues. Give them the banking chance to open a joint bank account. Rest, what's gonna mayhem is gonna happen is upon them. Or that happens with everybody. It's just money. People are weird with it. The property and the insurance. If these three things are sorted, I feel no need to go to Supreme Court. Things will be sorted at state level and personal level. Yeah, maybe Dr. Ganesh can come next time and
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. We are running short of
yeah,
time.
yeah.
And so thanks, Shreyasta, for yet another interesting discussion. And we'll see you next week. And until then, Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, thank you,
Yeah, thank
Jaidev,
you.
and thank you,
Thank